don't be mad at them for bowling next to you or running past you. Explain it to them, be great.
Exactly, yeah.
And we do have some of them that do that. I've had, and I've told one league bowler, he got me a whole family. I had a team that joined. My dad, their kids were married or something, and this is how they all joined, brought a team into our league.
Awesome. I really appreciate you coming on, Stephen. For people who have not had the pleasure of meeting you, tell me a little bit about yourself and the center you're working at today.
My name's Stephen Keblish. I'm the GM for Rowlett, Bowl-A-Rama in Rowlett, Texas, just the east side of Dallas. It was Dallas, Garland, Rowlett. I've been here in September will be 3. Came into a really good situation. As manager had just left. I'd left another center I was working at in Waxahachie with Scott Dodson. They had construction basically in 2 different directions. It was taking my drive from an hour and a half or so. I said, hey, I'm going to cut back. And next day, I get a phone call from somebody that said, hey, I came out here a week and a half later, I started and walked into a really good situation. Very strong league coordinator.
Yeah, it sounds
like really strong assistant manager. We have a very large bar. I couldn't believe it. We have like 26 or 28 televisions in our bar.
Wow.
A large sports bar. Most of our food, since we got here, we started making almost scratch kitchens, about 85, 90% scratch. One of the things you have to really deal with through the COVID and all that stuff, manufacturers are not getting all the products.
Yep.
So every now and then you don't get something. And one thing we just said, if we don't get what we ordered, just don't send it. We'll be out. Because we started finding they would send replacements, your quality changes.
Right. Yep. Not the same.
And then, of course, we went through the struggles with staffing and a bunch of kids that didn't know anything and started having to go to frozen foods just to get them through. Now we're almost back to full scratch. We're updating our menu as we speak. Actually, they're working on it right now. But it's been a really good, I hate the term journey, but it has been a good journey here. Pretty cool situation. It's a 26-lane center. I've never heard of a 26-lane center before.
Yeah.
Usually 24, 32 and all that. I played football through college and stuff growing up. So 13 to 16 years, my number was 26. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Prior to working in bowling centers, I worked centers around the country.
Yeah, that a little bit.
I worked for Terry Brenneman up in Pennsylvania and Old Kings and over in Ohio a little bit. Here and there, I ran around a little bit. I wrote tech manuals for the military for about 16 years. I do government contracts in different areas. Anytime I got there, I tried to work centers, just stay connected with bowling. So once my daughter got married and everything, I don't have to make tons of money anymore. So take a break and do something I enjoy.
I love it. And you were saying there's a couple, you was some influential guys that you worked under at one point.
First boss in the bowling industry was Jim Welch. Running most of the centers for the tournaments for AMF and Valero right before he passed about a year and a half, 2 years. He was my very first boss. He's incredible. His marketing skills are just unmatched. He would look across one day. He goes, you know what? We have half a house that's empty this hours. That's not making money. Let's run some hourly special. And just out of nowhere, we were packed.
Yeah.
He just found a way to get people in the building.
Yeah.
And I think I told you, so we were talking a few weeks ago that there's a whole lot of people in the bowling industry all around the country now, not just in DFW, but all started working for Jim Welch, spawned out and grown. So it's a cool place to start right there.
That's awesome. And so tell me, let's move a little bit into some of the stuff you guys are doing today. So I know you guys are a heavy league play, heavy tournament play. Tell me about some of the stuff that's working for you guys today at Rowlett.
Because of COVID, before I got here, they were 50% league. They wanted to keep their leagues stopped at half the house. They wanted to have, and it makes sense that you get a lot of profit from it, but you really need that league base.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. It's up and down if people are going to show or not. Suddenly an area gets sick and nobody comes out. When they found out during COVID, the only people that did show were the bowlers. We learned that lesson. Okay. So they let us cater more to our league bowlers. And then we had, I think, 2 other like entertainment centers, just fun bowling places that showed up, bowling/movie houses type. So for us to compete with just general entertainment and arcades with rock climbing walls and all kinds of stuff in them, it's really difficult for us. It just made more sense to focus on the league bowler, which thankfully it's more my forte. So, and now our league bowlers, we're pushing full house almost every. This next year, we're talking about possibly changing up and doing a little more, at least one league, maybe a Wednesday night, something totally different that we don't have in the house. Because a lot of the leagues are forming to be the same thing over and over. I just want a couple. We're working on some different things with that, but that has really shined. And now we're running some small tournaments here and there. Just every month, there are little no taps or something like that for seniors, or just some little things. Just have people coming in. Friday nights were the killer in Texas. Everywhere I've ever been, because of Texas football rules. There's 30,000 people in the stands. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
You walk into a bowling center on Friday night and it's empty. Yeah. So we started up a little no-tap league just to see if we can get people in there, and they got addicted. And
Yeah.
now that league has grown from like 16 or 22 teams.
Wow.
On a Friday night, they're skipping
Yeah.
one of our competitors across town playing the Super Bowl, Tyson Brannigan. He started a Friday night phonetics tournaments, a series. And guys are showing up. Even some of the tour guys are coming out bowling, just keep sharp, keep bowling. We took advantage of the COVID, basically shutting down people allowed to be in the stands, and focused our Friday nights, and it helped for everybody.
Yeah.
That has been a big boom for us. There's a Friday night league that went from even open play on Friday night to having almost a full house. It's
Yeah.
huge.
It's a huge difference. Yeah. And
And Friday night drinking, the alcohol.
that's usually your biggest night. That's great that you recapture that. Now, what percentage would you say of your leagues are like sanctioned versus non-sanctioned?
We only have the no tap that are not sanctioned. We're going to do a special that's not going to be sanctioned just to get people in for the summer. They're a little short. Our youth leagues have really dwindled. There are 2 in town that are really large. So kids always want to go there. Extra amounts of coaching, this and that. So we're focused on the youth, the small kids, young ones. We're going to do a little 8-week league. They come in 2 games instead of 3, so they're not getting bored, not getting tired. And before every league, they will have an association member will come in and teach them lane courtesy. They'll shake hands with your target, start just kind of basics and teaching them each week. And for 8 weeks, we're not charging any line, just giving them free bowling to come in.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get like half the house running. A third of those, if they can get addicted to it, then they'll start pulling their friends in and just get a rebuilt youth league going.
Yeah. Yeah. Future, right?
Without your kids coming up and growing up in your league, you're not going to have any pretty soon.
Exactly. I always joke that they're not making new 60-year-olds.
We are, though, because I just had knee replacement 2 years back.
That's true. Okay. So you said mostly sanctioned. Are you doing no like social leagues or anything at this point? Mostly
we do have a couple. We do have one actually that is not sanctioned, but they're talking about it. We did a flat out fun league, what we called it. It was a short season. They paid $150 up front, flat fee. That was it. They don't pay anything else for the next. And each week, there's no prize fund. There's no actual standings or awards or anything like that. They keep standings, but there's nothing else for it. They get alcoholic beverage or regular drinks they want, and an appetizer for their team each week. And there's only trio, so there's a couple of them. And that took off. They love it. They don't have to worry about paying every week. And they got crazy with it. They just started buying food and drinks with good food. They're wanting to grow. Because that's been a really cool thing we're going to do. I'm doing a women in wine league for women in wine. I've heard a few places doing pretty well with it. And then probably a brews and bros or something like that, a separate night with them, so they can take care of the kids off one night.
Yeah, we're doing a similar one over at Terry's one place, Laser. They do like a beer and bowling because they have the new brewery in there, like centered around the new kind of beer of the month that they do. And then you get like a pitcher or a couple, I guess they do like a bucket, and then you get a bucket. There's more like more, I don't think it's sanctioned. It's like a 15-week instead of a 30. And it's just for the guy who just wants to have some fun and eat.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do a draft league here, the scratch draft league. They're starting to grow around here. I did one up in Colony Park. I did one in Ohio, and then in Tulsa and Oklahoma City I ran one. We did 36 weeks, and I split it up every 12 and actually paid out every 12. It just broke it up. They had a redraft, so you're never buried. Every third, it's a whole new team. Sometimes people just, after a while, and you're in that bottom half, you're like, you just dreading going to bowl. So I just wanted to break it up, and it worked every time. I wanted to do one here, but they've already done one in Fort Worth. There's another one across town. People are doing draft league. No one ever breaks it up like that. But
yeah.
I just think it'd be fun. My favorite part, whoever drafted it, was you based off your average, your high, medium, and low. Whoever was doing the draft for that third, it rotated the high, then the medium, and the lows got to pick who they wanted. They're the team captain. They handled your envelopes, and they were the anchor. Get that lower average bowler the chance to feel that pressure. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's been really good when I did it. All the higher average bowlers always want to help the younger and help them grow and get better.
Yeah.
I'd really like to try to get something like that going.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit. That's a good segue into how you've grown some of these leagues. It sounds like you've always been somewhat of a league house, but what do you do to grow? Or if you pick a new one, how do you get it out there? What do you guys like to do?
Social media now, Facebook is the big thing. We do keep everyone's email. We've asked for them here. We want to get contact with you, and we don't want to shove, hey, we're doing this special constantly at them, because it pops up and hit the disseminate the information about new leagues through our league secretaries. It's come from the secretary. They're like more apt to read it than just an ad from, and that's helped a little bit. We do try to word of mouth is really big in the center. It's a small, tight-knit group. You always end up having a bowling family. I love that feeling. So it does get out, and we have a lot of our bowlers that, oh, hey, if you make flyers, we'll take them out and we'll send them on our Facebook, and they share it with us all the time. So that helps a lot.
So yeah, somewhat organic then.
Right.
Yeah, that's smart. Keep your costs down. And that email is really clutch, because if you want to advertise on Facebook or anywhere else, you got to pay every time you get in touch with them. Whereas you collect the email now.
Yeah, we did set aside a small budget to boost your Facebook ads and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been really key for us. I don't think they really did that in the past as much.
Yeah. Yeah, I read a stat recently that I think like 47% of people spend 4 to 6 hours a day on their phone. So there's different brackets on how much time they spend. And the biggest bracket by far was the 4 to 6 bracket. And then there's a couple on either side, but that's a lot of time all day.
It is.
They're on social media.
Way too much time.
Yeah, I know.
I'm probably one of them. So.
We all are. Everyone. If someone ever says that they don't have enough time, just pull out their screen time and show.
No doubt.
Tell me, I'm curious a little bit about your restaurant. You said you have some scratch stuff.
Yes.
How much of the business does that comprise? How do you marry the two between the leagues? Because some people I talk to, leagues are infamous for coming in with their $20, whatever, and that's it. But other people can find a way to make it work. Tell me a little bit about that for you guys.
One of the things when I came in, we had to tweak our menus a lot. I noticed they had a chef that came in, helped them, and built a really good menu. Food was outstanding. But the problem, they said it started off really good, but they had some pasta dishes, things like that, but they were large. And the bowler, you get to eat a little bit, and you're like, I don't want to eat, I don't want to drink, I don't want to bowl, I go home, go to bed. So you want to feed your bowlers, but just enough where they're not full. It's got to be some healthy options. You got to have some. You got to have that, that greasy cheeseburger. It's quality meat though. You don't want to get the crap. So, yeah, we try to get a higher quality of meat there, but they want that good juicy burger. So you got to have your burgers. We have 3 or 4 different styles, some jalapenos, of course. We make fresh jalapeno poppers wrapped in bacon, and they're all done sliced by hand. Everything redone and wrapped and fried. Almost everything is by hand. Spend a full shift of prep and try to keep orders running. Pretty soon we do the Kids Bowl Free program that is just starting out. So we'll add on to our kitchen during the day staff. That way we can still have our full prep going while the kitchen's running full. We do some catering as well, cater events in-house. The big one that's been lately has been our fajita dinner at 3 Meats. It's incredible. I can't wait to the next one so I can steal some fajitas. They've been really good with it. Most of our bowlers will let us know, oh my God, that's so good. And I'm really, being a bowler, I'm conscious about it. It can't be too trying to eat while you're bowling. It's got to be. So that was the other thing. They have some really creative burgers that weren't selling like they should. On the bar side, the people order them because they're sitting there, no big deal. But they didn't sell like the others because you couldn't eat them while you're bowling. The pasta dishes we cut in half. It made it a small portion. They were still delicious, just enough. We make pizza. We roll the dough back there when it's ordered. It's not a frozen crust.
Oh wow!
And so, well, we're doing that. And we had the small ones, and we started getting creative. And one of our cooks stuffed it pepperoni and mozzarella and rolled it in the deep little quick flash fry.
Yeah, just making it on the fly.
And it was just little pizza balls. We rolled them out, no pun intended, at one of our large tournaments 2 years ago. And the guys just loved it. And people just go, it's great. It's really easy to eat. You're bowling, you can just dip it and bite. Your hands aren't messy. So that's been a fairly good staple product. It disappeared shortly after COVID. Kitchen change, people come back. How do you make them and all that stuff? So it's coming back out. It just got reapplied as menu last week. Already had some people really happy. Yeah. We're excited to get that stuff back. I guess I should say, since we're talking about tournaments, we do have the one tournament we come every single year. It's called Texas Iron. It is the 16 toughest games in Texas. That's probably how somehow you heard about Bowl-A-Rama was from that event. It's all 16 games. Every game is live streamed by Perfect Strike. Chris Lucas runs the tournament for us. It's been a great event. I think we had either 11 or 14 tour players last year.
Wow.
Our tournament.
How many people total?
78 max.
Oh wow.
Right now it's the last Saturday of August, and we have less than 30 not paid.
Okay.
We're already hitting a waiting list right now. Whoever pays first gets in.
Sure.
So we're locking those down. It'll probably be end of the month. It'll be sold out. Platinum Ford in Terrell is one of the biggest sponsors in the area, and he has been great. They feed the entire field during lunch break when we re-oil. They put up insurance policy for us, and that's been the biggest thing. Last year, if a PBA member shot 300, for the first one to do it, they got a 10,000, and we're like, oh my God, people are excited. As a non-PBA member, they won a $50,000 track.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
that just blew everyone's mind. And I just got a message before we started. We got to send over a copy of last year's oil patterns to the insurance company and all that. So they're getting ready to redo that policy right now.
And you said 7 came within a frame, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it was great.
Close.
If he had kept the same pace, he would have done it. Or if he had just waited longer, he was in that little window. I just felt so bad for him.
Yeah. So close.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that was a nightmare pattern. It was amazing he got that far. I think one of the tour guys got the front six at one point.
Okay.
That's as close as anyone's ever gotten to it.
Wow.
It's fair shooting, yeah. So the insurance policy only allows us a 1.71 to ratio, 1.75, I think, at highest. And that's pretty nasty. But we've had fun with them. Last year, we named them. There's a Purgatory and Gates of Hell for the names of the pattern. This year, we have the Silent Killer and the Crop, which is a bad. It just
it's all in good fun.
Yeah, and it's an old joke too. They had a Swiss Trios in Wichita where they're bowling one year, and they let you change your team name every round. And one of our anchor bowler just happened to look around and released and left. And Francois had just walked out. He's just like his face. Oh no! So our next team name was our anchor just crop dusted. Frankie Lavoie, sorry. And we were talking about that whenever I was doing the patterns.
That's great. That's funny. So tell me a little bit about, maybe you mentioned it a little bit. I want to hear about the staffing and some of the having a team and how you've gotten through that, because that seems to be a big struggle for people these days. And
it is a big struggle everywhere. We had restaurants in the area that closed because they couldn't get staff. It's just unreal. We got really lucky. Honestly, like I said, I came in. My core managers all have kids. They really don't, they need that flexibility that we can provide schedule wise. So they're not out actively looking or anything like that. Helps us. And they care. That was the biggest thing, is finding some managers that stay, that care. You have staff will start feeding off of it. We've had some kids walk in, they start working. You can tell that attitude and stuff. And once they see that others care, they start caring. Otherwise, they're left out.
Yeah, I see.
So it's growing from right there. We have a lot of kids that come in, they're just here for the job and free games of bowling and stuff like that. After a couple months, they start really caring. They start caring about our customers because they get to know them and pulled into that family feel.
And you're saying you seed that through like the general or the assistant managers, or maybe
our managers are really good.
Yeah.
Our bar person, I've had bartenders that tell us they stay because of our managers.
Yeah.
They know we will back them up on times that I think I saw. You always get asked, what's that one piece of advice to people? And the one thing I always said, it's hard to say, you don't want to believe that it's true. The customer's not always right.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to back your staff. It's hard whenever that comes. You'll have to stand firm on certain things.
Yeah.
And you still have people that work for you that you have to give them the respect to have their back. You can't be over serving and this and that. You cut somebody off, and that person's as a manager, you have to support your staff.
Right.
And make that decision. They are ultimately responsible. If that person goes out and have an accident, I don't want my bartender going to jail.
Of course.
So that's something we're really strong about. We've had a couple of people every now and then, and honestly, always a random person walked in, never a regular customer, hasn't been in open play, starting trouble. And they found out, oh my gosh, I was there 2 seconds flat, it's time to go. And guy starts leaving, starts coming back, and half our league is you got to go. And the bartenders, oh my gosh, they're just shocked because they were, I think it was like the second month for one of them, could not believe the support from the customers.
Yeah.
And they just totally felt at home after that. So that it comes like our managers really, it's a lot of care involved. One of them, her husband is a programmer for a really high-end video game company. He makes a lot of money, but she loves it. And I think it's the feeling of being needed, and we definitely need her. So
like a community kind of thing.
When they show that they care so much, and the kids start growing up, and you'll see a couple of them that are on the verge. They could either be still that kid or take that next step and talk to them, just visit. Yeah, you're right there. Don't follow the one that's doing wrong. Let that person follow you doing right. Just doing the old dad talks and stuff.
And do you teach your managers to do that, or is it about selection, or how do you foster that kind of a community?
It's more just a situation thing. Like things will happen. Hey, you got to think that through. Or better than that. And most of them are really receptive. We're close enough. If someone needs, I'm giving guys rides home at night, so the parents don't have to get out or whatever and talk. A lot of kids, it's that community parenting thing. And some of the parents go here and work here, so it's really
That makes a lot of sense. And like you said, it starts with showing them that you care. And
Right.
that's infectious. And when they see you care and you care about them, they want to return it, and it all comes full circle. I think that's, yeah, pretty critical. So then finding people is hard. I imagine you guys are pretty good on retention.
It's gotten a lot better. We had some time where, a little turnover here and there, but it's been pretty good. The kitchen is the hardest one to maintain.
Yeah.
And keep going. It's hot, it's tiring, they get worn out. Yeah, last couple of months we've actually gotten three. One of our had left a while back and came back, so we're all excited. And then another one that had left for cancer. She's fighting that still, but she came back. I guess we had 3 or 4 people 30 plus years old come back and, oh my gosh, we have an adult kitchen again. So when the adults are around,
Yeah.
they're making TikToks or, come on guys, have fun, but you got tickets up.
The room.
But I tell them, I don't mind you guys take a break, have some fun. I want them to enjoy the experience here. The kids on the floor, my CSRs that are cleaning and stuff. I talk to the customers, have fun, laugh, joke. I said, if you're having fun, they're having fun. This is an entertainment. Entertain them. Enjoy it. If you're miserable walking around carrying trash,
that's infectious too, in the
Right.
negative direction. Yeah,
Exactly.
I like that. So yeah, building a culture of fun, caring, family. Yeah, it seems like the people who have the best retention have those components, and good leadership at the top. That really goes a long way. And
Get a good general manager, and then we're there.
one step away. That's great. Yeah, so I like that a lot. I wanted to pivot next to the industry where you see it. So the next like 3-5 years, where do you see the bowling industry moving in the direction of?
And that is the question of the year right there. Nobody really knows. And I think it's growing more than people realize. Several years, oh, I'm dying. If you're going to any tournaments, if you're going pushing leagues and seeing people come in and out, it's growing. It's not dying.
Yeah.
It's more of a thought, oh, it's just not that, but more and more people are doing it. And just when COVID hit and they're inside, just locked up, they were searching for things to do.
Right. And now they can.
And a lot of them, like, my mom and dad used to bowl or something. They started bowling again. Or mom and dad drug them out. Now they're hooked. Just
right.
I really truly believe it is growing. I do think some of it's growing different with the entertainment centers and stuff. You see, they're just all about just going, chunking balls, having fun, having drinks, which that's great. There's no problem with that at all. If you want to come out and have fun, it's some of those that teeter over and then they turn into that little no tap, and it's
Exactly.
it's just this stair step to get you into league. All you want to do is come in on Friday night, kill the lights and jam and play some music, have the band on the lanes, and all for that too. But I think a lot are doing that. A lot of parties go to the FECs where they have the big rock climbing walls, and they're also, in my opinion, they price themselves out of market sometimes because they know what they have. Here's, you want it, you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents, especially the gas is through the roof.
Yeah.
So they really have to weigh in cost now. That's where we step in more. They book it here. They have a great time. We provide a party host. And like I said, if our staff's having a good time, enjoying it, joking with the kids, playing, letting them enjoy it, they still have that good experience and good feeling. I think a lot of places I've heard that they'll go and have that good party, and that what they offer as far as the games and things like that is really good. It's expensive, and they don't really have the attention, the personal experience that we'll give them.
Yeah, and one of the guests I had previously, he's a proprietor in Pittsburgh. He said one of the most important things that people are coming to now is a crossroads where they have to pick which one of those people they want to serve. Do they want to go towards the FEC? Do they want to go more towards the birthday parties and kids, or do they want to go more towards a serious league kind of bowler? Right. And he said, you got to pick them, and you got to really cater to that person. Yeah. I thought that was really impactful. It sounds
similar. Yeah, we're similar. I think how we control ours, we really focus on that event at the time. So our time slots, we have areas where it's mostly birthday parties, and we support those extra people and have make sure they're really catered to. And then we have events where it's fundraisers and like that. Make sure we have those people that are catered to that. And then we have our group that really focus on our leagues and tournaments. So you all have your own little niche, and that does work that way. It is difficult, especially when you have so many leagues and people want open play. And you're like, I came twice now. I can't get sorry. I'd love to build more. I just can't. I think I got in a little trouble from the owner liaison one time. We had a review. It's a 3-star review instead of 5. He said, it's not, if you want to be a league bowler, you can bowl. If you're just coming in and have fun, good luck getting a lane. It was rude, but I thanked him. That's why I got in trouble. I thanked them for the best, maybe a 1-star review or something that we ever had, just pointing out the fact that we were a successful business.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
He ignored it. I'm like, we're supposed to be full. If you went out to dinner and you had a 45-minute wait, are you going to complain, tell them they should kick people out?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, if it was the other way around, then no one was there, you'd be worried.
And of course, they concerned themselves about the league, this and that. And the funny thing about it was the guy, when he posted it the night he came in, it was actually a Saturday night. There were no leagues. That was just open play. It was a full house of open play at the waiting list.
Yeah.
And
And do you guys do any like online reservations, or it's all just
that's being built
serve?
right now. Yeah, we a month ago we upgraded our scoring system to Brunswick Sync,
Yep.
and so we're still finishing out the back ends and all
Yeah.
the pricing, how are we handling everything. So that's getting tied in right now. And then we switched from our credit card processor, and that's in that process right now. Once that
Yeah.
finishes, we'll have online ordering. We'll
Mhm.
have online reservations, lock in your little block of rent in a bowl and stuff like that.
Yeah, that
And
helps
we're
because then you can do a little more planning and set a
Yes.
clear expectation. Yeah.
Because if you're going to do online, it's got to be by the hour,
Yeah. Do you prefer one or the other? Or how do you guys bridge that? 'Cause I've seen,
by the game.
of course. Yeah.
As a proprietor, hourly is so much more to control. Hey, how much time we got? We'll kind of have an idea. If they book it online, once that time's over, that time's over. If
Mhm.
there's availability after and they want to extend, they could, but someone else may have already booked it. That's something they'll have to.
How do you split the two? How do you have it certain times it's only hourly, or what do you
Yes.
guys do?
We combine it. Most of the time during the day, we can have either.
Mhm.
As we get busier, we'll start eliminating more and more per game
Yeah.
times. But weekends, we
Yeah.
even create an hourly rate for our league bowlers discount.
Yeah, that helps then.
Yeah, especially with sync and then my shot, we can practice any spare and all that stuff. You have to be an hourly rate to get certain games. We want to offer that to our,
Yeah, that's
we
smart.
get a pretty good discount.
Yeah, that's a good idea then. And towards you said the comment of the working out the open play and the league people.
Yes.
I talked to a guy who has a similar type of house in Florida, and he said what really helped with that was to just paint the picture to the leaguer guys that the open play help to pay for different things. They come in,
Yes.
they spend a lot of money, and then that helps us give you even better service. So
Right.
positioning that way seemed to help a
Yeah.
lot.
And I've told them stuff like that. And that could be your next growth in your league.
Right.
Talk to them, come join our league. Don't be mad at them for going next to you or running past you. Explain it to them. Be great.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we do have some of them that do that. I've had, and I've told one league bowler, he got me a whole family. I had a team that joined. My dad, their kids were married or something, and this is how they all joined, brought a team into our league.
Wow. Yeah.
And I gave them a couple hour pass here. I was like, oh yeah, I was like, man, I appreciate it. Here, have some
Right.
fun. I'll bring in some guys from work that don't really bowl. Maybe we can get them to bowl too. Coordinate.
Hey.
He wanted to get more.
Yeah. That's all. Everybody starts somewhere. Yeah.
And we're talking about staffing. I do that as well.
Mhm.
We'll have a little petty cash flow that we move here and there. Some of my staff that go over and above, I'll do a little spot bonus rather than, oh, we can't do a raise right now or this or that. Hey, here, $25 that thank you for like out of nowhere, and they get really shocked.
Yeah.
And it's just nice to see that little extra.
Like appreciation more so than the actual money almost.
And I'm always really about thanking them for the job they do. Because I'm going to get on to them for the job. If
Mhm.
they do a good job, I want to make sure they understand.
Yeah.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah. I think that's a really underappreciated piece from management is the appreciation, not just the pay or here's what has to be done, but hey, thanks for doing it too. I think that goes, depending on the person, it goes along.
Yeah, we had a businessman come in to have this amazing cleaner, and he wanted to sell it to us. And one of some girl, she works at this flower shop, used to work here on your front desk, and she sent me down. She said, you would love this. So I have an ex-employee who left it. Is still trying to send people to us for whatever. That's nice to hear.
Yeah, you have a good name out there. I love it. So then we're coming in the last couple questions. Tell me, what's the biggest challenge for you guys?
Today is keeping it cool because it's 110 degrees out. We have
Summertime.
one AC unit down.
Oh, wow.
Actually, that's probably the biggest thing. We're waiting on a part back ordered from things that we can't control.
Yeah.
We have spotting times where several of our machines are dropping a pin here and there, but we're waiting on that spotting time. That the part itself through classic products has been on back order for almost 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And we need those parts to really maintain the business. I got here, we had a really good mechanic before she left. She did her best to keep her costs down and never wanted to ask her, oh, we need to replace this. She knew that the cheaper, the better type attitude.
Sure.
She did her best to keep everything running. It's amazing the job she did. But she should have actually often, hey, let's just and keep everything running perfectly. So now you have an issue because of an old issue, cause something else to weaken.
Yeah.
So we've been going through over the last year, really gutting anything that we need to rebuilding tables. I said, pull one, just get a new one, rebuild it and replace it, and then we go back. It's okay. They're mechanical. I'll take the heat.
But you got to reinvest at some point.
And they are doing that right
So,
now.
yeah.
They're putting money back into us. Our ownership changed at January 1. We had a group They own multiple businesses, 2 centers and some oil and gas and a little shopping mall and stuff.
Okay.
And they split up. They just not hatred or suits or nothing like that. They just
Yeah.
friendly split. Our owner wants to be known as a good man. He just enjoys the business. So he
Yeah.
kept 2 centers and 3 other small things, sold them off for cash flow to invest in us.
Okay.
So we went from a larger bankroll in just one of the businesses to a smaller bankroll, but we are the prime. He cares. We walk him through anything. Hey, this got to get that data. We need this, and just really walk through the whole thing. I'm sure that was sticker shock because you try to maintain things, but it gives you a chance to plan and budget for what. Okay, what's important? What do we need first, second, third, and that's what we're prepping right now for. He's willing to make those changes, which is great. So
yeah. So AC's first, and then what?
oh yeah, AC. We're just waiting on. We're gonna redo some tables and chairs. We just redid the scoring units, our POS and everything. Upgraded our kitchen to chef tab with. Instead of having little tickets that print out and you're like, what's that say? They got the screens now and all that.
Oh, that's nice.
Things will go much smoother. We're redoing one of our party areas. We do a lot of meetings and events back there. We're ripping floor out, redoing the flooring, some counter stuff, and we'll redo the back bar, redoing some bathroom stalls right now as well.
Yeah, it goes a long way. My business partner also owns a center, and he's always saying how you always want to have like improvements trickling out, so the people always see that you're always
right. You want that one that you always have to have that improvement that they see. That's the thing. Oh, you haven't done anything. We just replaced 26 machines a year because they haven't seen anything change.
Yeah, it's always just dripping out little things here and there, and they see the
that initial ownership group when they bought it, they replaced all their machines. Later, all their lane beds. They saw the machines they did because the original people that when they built it, they had those Japanese and which they ran fine for years. They're not built to last 50 years. But so they called him, you know what, let's just replace them, and they did. Glad because I don't have to deal with them. But we still ran into some weird things here and there. Had a ball return motor go out, and some of the motors were wired for high voltage, some were wired for low voltage. And you're like, so you don't really know until you fire that. You're like, oh, you just burned up a motor. Electrician got a month and a half ago and redo every one to where they're wired all the same. Then we built little add-on boxes that they can plug in and plug out. Something goes out, they take the whole thing out, put a new one and plug it.
I see.
And it speeds up your recovery time. You're not down waiting on a repair to get finished for 2 hours.
Right. Yeah, that's the last thing you need.
Right.
It always happens at the worst time too.
It did. We had a senior tournament here, a team tournament, and we had a pair go out, and it blew 6 circuit breakers because of how it was wired.
Yeah.
We got them all up and running except that one pair with the motor changed out. Classic brought us 2 motors, and neither one would work. So we ended up having to have 2 teams lose out on bowling our tournament. I felt horrible. It happens. And we run a full house on Thursday of league and have never had to move anybody. We've never had a lane breakdown. So for that to happen, it was all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And most of the guys, especially seniors, have worked in the industry. They know, they get it. They felt bad for us.
Yeah.
I had one of the guys from down in Duncan. He was up there helping my mechanic trying to work on it, fix it.
Yeah.
So everybody tried to come together and everybody, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. And they're coming back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. There you go. I love it. We're coming up on time here. I don't want to hold you too long, but the only other one I had. So you mentioned the piece of advice was actually. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say it again.
Yeah. Basically, the customer's not always right. As much as you want to cater to them and do everything you can to make them happy and please them, they're not always right. And sometimes it's happened. You're just like, that's all I can do, and I wish we could do something for you if that's it, and they have to leave. And that's happened before. But I would rather that person go ahead and leave than they keep being irate and get a price that we don't have and go to the lane and start talking. Now the guy next to him wondering why. So you have to really balance that and be careful. Yeah. Sometimes they're not right. You have to stand your ground.
Yeah. And it sounds like that being said that they're not always right. You back your employees. It does sound overall though, like you listen to your customers a lot, like as a whole, you're very responsive to what they're looking for.
We've adjusted some things. We're doing some pricing now where the bowling is all your taxes included. Instead of, you just said it's 25 an hour. Now it's 30. What is after tax? How they walk up, what they see is what they pay.
Yeah.
And we make sure we have tax included. Tax is we want them to know. We had a phone call just a while ago, talk about our competitor up 20 minutes away. Said they're $2 more than you. It's a really nice place with a huge bankroll behind them. That's also before tax. So once they add that in, they're paying quite a bit more. It's just something we have to make sure that we point out and tell everybody. Yeah, our food prices are after tax now instead of rounding that up.
Yeah.
I hate that. You're like, oh crap, digging for extra change, and mom sending up the little kid to get a drink.
Come back and no, absolutely.
We've had a lot of customers that had requested that, and we got that done with Sync. We told them, as soon as we get the new system, we're going to do that. We did. Yeah. We want to make sure we got that right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good. like you said, it's a balance, and I can see that you definitely walk that fine line.
Yeah.
Exactly. I love it. Like I said, I really appreciate you taking some time. I know you're a busy guy. If people want to get in touch with you, either about the tournament or just to talk bowling, where would you send them, or should they get in touch with you?
I'm not the smartest person in the world. My business cards have my cell phone number. So my counter, they have it. They give it out all the time. I don't mind. If you have questions for us, for our pro shop, I can get in touch with the best I've ever seen. Coach is Anthony Simonson. I've seen him make a pitch change on a 2-finger. Like, we're really lucky to have him in here. Anytime, Instagram, social media, everywhere.
Yeah.
So somebody have a question, hit me up. My cell phones are usually somewhere out there.
Yeah.
I'll take calls whenever.
And I can attest to that because I reached out and you got back to me. So I can attest it's true.
That was even a weird time. I felt bad for taking that long.
Yeah. No, but you did. I reached out and you were very gracious and agreed to come on here, and I really appreciate it. Great. Well, yeah, we'll have to do maybe another one to follow up, or if not, we'll maybe catch up at Bowl Expo or something.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks again for coming on, Stephen.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Take care.